Well, welcome back, my dear sweet friends. I am so happy you are with us. How are you doing on your no spend January? Today is January 4th already. We're 4 days in. So isn't that exciting? We're doing it. I hope you are well. I hope you are safe. It is so cold here. It is frigid. We were below 10 degrees this morning. If any of you follow me over on Instagram, you saw Dixie on the couch last night with her little blankie over her head. It is snuggle weather for sure. Today's video is kind of full, but I hope it is encouraging. We are going to talk about some price increases we are going to be seeing in 2022, Paul and I. We got some bills in and some new totals for our health insurance, and they were staggering. So we're going to share that with you. We're also going to share our 2020 budget compared to our 2021. How did we do? Because as you know, we track every single penny we spend. And that is how we have managed to live below our means, which is the secret to staying out of debt, honestly. And we're also going to take you to my counter and my refrigerator, some of this food that we have around, and I'm going to share my next week's meal plan with you because planning these meals during this no spend January is crucial. So sit back, relax. My name is Emmy, my husband is Paul, and we are the channel Frugal Money Saver. We are an early retirement, debt and mortgage-free couple living in the state of New York. And our videos and our channel just encourages you to live a full, beautiful, blessed, abundant life, yet spend much less money. Let's get comfy. The first thing I want to talk to you about is some increases in prices Paul and I are going to see on our bills for 2022. You know, because Paul retired at 55, that we have to pay for our own medical insurance. And that takes about a third of our salary. It really does. It's pretty darn expensive, but it is good insurance, really good insurance. So we've opted to keep it. It is through Paul's former employer, which is the town, and they pay 20% and we pay 80%. So it's a hefty little amount. It just increased approximately $162.65 a month. Yes, we now have to pay an extra $162.65 a month for our health insurance. You know, we understand why, because everything that's going on right now in the country. And it was steep already. Now it's just like, yikes! But that's okay. We're budgeting it in and we're going to make it work. Another hike we just had was January. We pay our land taxes. I know in different parts of the country it's different, but here in New York, January you pay land taxes, and then in September you pay school taxes. And yes, everything you heard about New York taxes are absolutely 100% the truth. Very, very expensive. Well, we just got our tax bill for our land for January, and that went up $262.44 for this year. Now, that's just for the land taxes. I don't know what it's going to be in September for the school taxes. So we saw an increase in that too, as well. Then we needed home heating oil. You seeing we're on a roll here. I got to smile though. This is all going to work. We're going to make it work. Back in June, we got it. It was $2.48 a gallon. We heat our home with home heating oil. And we supplement our downstairs area with our wood-burning stove. We just got fuel. It was up to $3.09 a gallon, from $2.48 to $3.09. So that was 61 cents more a gallon. So as you can see, this no-spend January may go into a no-spend February. We live below our means. And the thing we have to remember is to plan for these unexpected expenses. That's why we don't go into the credit card debt. That's why we try to always keep our budget below what we're actually taking in. Those three items were a little bit of a sticker shock for January, I have to say, especially the health insurance. Now, going into how we did on our budget from 2020 to 2021. Now, you have to remember back in 2020, things were much different. The country was pretty much shut down, if you remember. Let's see how we did. First thing, our electric. We spent $80 more on electric in 2021 than we did in 2020. Now, we're not really sure, right, Paul, where that extra money came from. Could be just an increase in electric prices. Could be maybe I used the dryer a little bit more in 2021 than I did the year before. But $80 overall price increase from 20 to 21 was not bad. Our cell phone for the year actually went down. We paid $44.55 less for the year than we did in 2020. So that was a blessing. Our water bill. We don't have a well. We have town water here. Last summer was extremely dry. So for the year, we paid $63 more in 2021. Our taxes for the year 2020 to 2021, we went up $433 for the year. Now, we're already seeing a price increase on just our land taxes of $262, I told you. So I can't even imagine what our school taxes are going to be. So we were up in that in 2021. We were also up in gasoline in 2021 from the previous year, but that makes sense because number one, we're driving a little bit more and the prices have jumped radically. So we spent $207 more on gasoline in 2021. Now this is the weird one. Food. We went down in 2021 $768. $768. What I did differently, I think, is watched those loss leaders, and we really shopped the loss leaders, and we really made sure we stocked up on them when they did come around. As many as we were allowed, that's what we would do, as you can check back on my hauls. And I think also with the food, we are buying seasonal, really important. And if you come into my house, you're going to see a lot of ingredients, but not so much prepared food. So a lot of the cooking, I would say 90% of my cooking, would you say, Paul, is from scratch?
Yeah, you always cook from scratch.
I mean, I don't buy like things like Bisquick. Not that this is bad. Now, there's no food shaming here. I'm not saying that at all. Hey, we eat bacon. But what I am saying is I noticed that if I create it myself, it is just cheaper. It's cheaper. And the longer we go along, the more we are seeing that. Home heating oil was about the same, but I can tell you already it's going to be much higher this year because the delivery we just got, we don't get billed till January for that. From June, it rose 61 cents more a gallon. So between the 2 years, there was about $114 difference. So when you think about it, we are staying pretty much on budget. You have to figure out where you can cut costs, what you can do. We had cut cable. We have cut out eating out almost completely. And I don't miss it. Honestly, we don't. So $114 more in 2021 than 2020. So that's not bad. Now this year I am seeing some serious price increases already. I get questions about YouTube income. YouTube income moves on algorithms, if you can believe that. So it's not like we can say, well, we make this every month on YouTube. We don't. It doesn't work like that. We can't say that is a steady income. So we're going to make it work as we have all along. I'm going to tell you one of the most important things that helps us to save money, being organized. I cannot tell you how much tracking every penny we spend, keeping a meal plan, keeping inventories. I know I preach this all the time to you, but being organized will make 100% difference in your budgeting strategies. Hands down, I promise you. So if you are not keeping track of your money, get a notebook. It just helps me to run an efficient home. It really does. When you see it on paper or you see it physically, it just makes such a difference and you become accountable. You can't deny what's on the paper in front of us, right? We know it's there. It's saying, you know what, health insurance, Em and Paul have gone up. You're going to have to make that work. You're going to have to cut a little here or a little there and bring it all back together again. So just a gentle encouragement to please, organization will help you so much. We're going to turn you around. I'm going to show you my counter as of yesterday, which was Monday. It was the weekend after New Year's, after the holidays. We had some stuff we had to put away, and then we're going to go through the refrigerator, see if we can put any of that stuff away and what we come up with. I'm going to turn the camera around. Let's get in the kitchen. We're keeping it real. And my counter is pretty full. What has happened is it's the Monday after New Year's, after all the holidays, and I just really have to do something with the counter because there's just too much stuff on it. Right here, candy canes. No one wants to eat candy canes right now. So what I am going to do is I am going to put them away. I'm going to stick them in the refrigerator. And what I want to do come Valentine's Day, because I know candy canes will stay fresh that long, there's a recipe where you take the candy canes, you put them together like this, and then you fill them with melted chocolate. And I thought that would be such a great treat for Valentine's Day. And if you have leftover candy canes, that might be something you want to do. Or crush them up, use them in cookies, use them to stir your hot chocolate, your coffee, but we have to use them up. They're food. I bought it. Not that it's a nutritional food, but I did buy them. So the nuts, we continue to keep eating. They're just wonderful. We had people over for New Year's Eve. We have a leftover half a loaf of homemade bread someone made us. We have regular bread. We have some chocolate balls left over. What I'm going to do with those so we just don't snack on them, I'm actually going to take them and I'm going to crush them up. I'll show you that in a minute, and we're going to use them for baking throughout the next month or two as a substitute for chocolate chips. So I think that'll be great. I have an avocado. It's not quite ripe. These bananas, I just bought them a couple days ago, literally, and they already are turning brown. So I am going to have to get on them and freeze them or bake with them. But I need to deal with this stuff now because we don't want to waste food. This is actually half of a sweet bread someone bought us, and I have to stick that in the freezer as well. You never even know the food that's on your own counter, let alone in your refrigerator and your freezer. First thing I'm going to do is unwrap that chocolate, get it in this bag, and crush it up so that we have some pieces of chocolate to use in baking. Now comes the important part. We're going to break these into pieces to bake with. Why are we breaking them up, Paul?
Well, if we leave them whole, I'll probably rate it, go in there and take them out and eat them.
And that's what I'm thinking. We don't need any more chocolate right now. So leaving them whole, this is not something you have to do to crush them up like this, but I think for us, this is going to be a good thing. So what I'm doing is just taking a meat mallet. Now they can be as big or as small as you want them. Instead of chocolate chips, I can add chocolate chunks. This will be perfect because they're just sitting there, and you know what? I'd rather save them to bake a special treat than just eat them like that at this point. So there we go. please go through your refrigerator, see what's in there. I have a half a jar of sauce I want to freeze. I still have eggnog. I'm going to have to use that up. We still have eggnog pie from the other night. I have some apples I want to turn into applesauce. I have my fresh apples that I just bought there. These are older apples, and they're kind of not great just to eat like that, but they'll make a delicious applesauce. There's that ever-present container of Cool Whip. I don't even know if I can refreeze Cool Whip. I'm going to have to look at that and see. We have fudge somebody gave us. Tiny little bit of leftover salad. Oh my goodness. Can I just tell you, shout out to my brother and sister-in-law for this Christmas gift to me. Look at this Pyrex in the friendship pattern. Thank you so much, guys. You know who you are. Just love it. I can't even tell you. But anyway, I need to get busy. We are continuing to do what we need to do to get this food prepped, get it in the freezer, cook it, whatever we need to do. Paul's doing the apples for me right now, and we are going to get them in the crock pot to make some applesauce, and I am going to start looking through the refrigerator and freezing what I need to freeze. Well, I looked it up, and according to the internet, you can refreeze Cool Whip. Woohoo! So ask me what I'm going to do with it at a later date. I don't know, but it'll give me a little time to think about it. So this can go right into the freezer like this. Super excited. But I also have the container of my Fra Diavolo sauce. Pasta with Fra Diavolo sauce is not on the menu for this week. Fra Diavolo just means it's a hot sauce. I make it with my seafood. And what I'm going to do is just put a little water in the jar to make sure I get all that out. So I just added a little water. Going to put the cap back on, give it a little shake, because that's got a ton of flavor. And now the jar is much cleaner for sure, and we didn't waste anything. So this is going to go right into the freezer. Just so I remember what kind of sauce it is, I put a little piece of paper that says hot. I don't like to write right on the containers because I reuse them. So that would be just, it'd have all kinds of words all over them. So I just put a little piece of paper that says hot so we remember this is a Fra Diavolo sauce. So I think there's 6 or 7 apples in here. I forgot to count, but I think it's 6 or 7. And I put a half a cup of water, and now I am going to cook them on low just like this. And don't let people tell you, oh, you have to use a certain apple for applesauce. That's not true. Whatever kind of apple you have will make a delicious applesauce. I don't add my sugar now, and I don't add my seasonings now. I cook it down first. So I'm going to let this cook on low about 6 to 7 hours. You'll know when it gets nice and brown and thick. And then the last 30 minutes, we'll add some brown sugar and pumpkin pie spice. So easy, and what a great way to use up extra apples. Complete recipe in my description box. So now I'm going to just share some quick meal plans with you. No particular order. All the ingredients I need for these meals are in the home right now. Maybe it will just encourage you and inspire you just a little bit. So one of the nights, I have a single pork chop in the freezer. What do you do with a single pork chop? I am going to make pork fried rice. I have a bag of Oriental frozen vegetables. We're going to make a sesame stir-fried sauce, and we are going to put that over brown rice. Perfect meal. Another night, I have broccoli rabe that I had cooked, which is like a bitter broccoli almost. It's really good. But I had cooked it up with some olive oil and hot pepper when it was on sale a while ago, and I froze it. So what we're going to do is have that with pasta and some Parmesan cheese. Perfect. Another night, we're going to have breakfast for dinner. I'm going to make scrambled eggs, blueberry pancakes, and maybe even a couple slices of bacon. Another night, we're going to take 2 pieces of sausage, some peas, potatoes, and onions, and we're going to roast it all in the oven. One of our favorite wintertime meals. I'm also going to make my Italian vegetable soup, and I have showed that so many times on here. We just cut up some carrots and celery and use some canned tomatoes, and we add basil and garlic and olive oil. Oh, it is so good. And then what I do is I break up spaghetti into little pieces, throw it in. out of this world. Another night, we're going to make baked breaded chicken cutlets, and we're going to have some mashed potatoes and green beans with that. Another night, I have a half of container of ricotta still in the refrigerator. We're going to make a baked ziti or maybe a small lasagna, something like that. We're using what we have. Those are just a sampling, and I can do them any night, whatever night. I don't like to say Tuesday we'll have this or Wednesday, because you never know what you feel like. But this way it will work great. We hope this video was encouraging to you. We hope it just got you excited to continue this No Spend January with us. Our question of the day is, how are you doing? How are you doing on your no spend? Have you made any creative meals? Did you use up leftovers in a way that you were like, yes, I did this? Did you walk away from a purchase that you almost made? Let us know how you're doing, please, down below, because that in turn encourages us. So we hope this video proved helpful. We thank you for being here. You all are such an absolute blessing to us. We ask that you please give this a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. Click on that bell so when we do make a new video, you will be alerted. Please, we ask you to stay safe. Please be well. Remember, we love you, and above all, we wish you blessings. Until our next video.